Well, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. It is good to have you with us. I am Norma Hollis, and I'm your trainer for this master class, and I'm really glad that you're here. Our call will be about an hour long, and you're going to leave with some ideas that will help you move your career forward. So get some pen and paper, and you want to take notes because I have some exercises, and you're going to want to take notes of the things that I say. But before we get started, please take a moment and let me know where you're calling from and what you hope to receive from the call. You can go to the chat box and write your name, write where you're from, why you're attending, or what it is you'd like to learn from the time we're going to spend together today. Linda, one of my associates, has been with me about 20 years, is on the back end, and she's going to read off some of the comments that you make. So while you're getting your pen and paper and getting ready to relax and get comfortable and learn some lessons, then Linda, would you please share some comments in the chat box?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Del Song is from beautiful Hays, Kansas. Stephanie is from Lake Havasu City, Arizona, not too far from me. I'm in the Phoenix area. And Christina's hailing from Nassau, Bahamas. Oh, don't we all wish?
Linda, did I lose you?
I'm here.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for sharing, and I'm going to move forward and get started because I know people are on and ready to get the information. And again, I thank you for being here. So this is for you. This is specifically customized for you. Those of you, wait a minute, hold on a minute, my screen is not showing. There we go. This is for you. If you are a speaker who is trying to figure out how to gain success in your career. If you are a coach who's been using the same material for years and you're ready to add a deeper layer, especially if it impacts diversity. Also, if you are a leader seeking to be more engaged with your team. And particularly if you've had enough of trying to figure out by yourself how to become successful as a speaker, coach, or leader. And if you've spent thousands of dollars and you still haven't emerged as the authentic speaker, coach, or leader that you want and know that you can be. And if you're tired of cookie cutter programs that don't give you what you need. You know, we are at an interesting time in society. It seems like every day we have no idea which way the roller coaster will turn or if it will flip us upside down. I bet some of you have felt upside down in the last few months. It's been a very unusual and unprecedented time. So many people have used this time to examine their life, where they are, where they've been, where they're going. And you know, from my view, it's really important. It's an important time for speakers, coaches, and leaders, because collectively we hold the mindset and the potential for humanity. We are a major group of people who influence others. When speakers stand on stage, they're looked up to. When coaches facilitate a call, their wisdom is relied on. And when leaders direct teams, they lead change. So as speakers, coaches, and leaders, this is an important time for us to be at the top of our game. I want to introduce you to two women who are in that situation. Meet Michelle. Michelle has been on the journey for about 15 years. She has a burning desire to become an influencer because she has a very important message that she knows that she can help a lot of people with. But she just can't get it right. She can't decide whether she wants to be a speaker, a coach, a writer, or just what. And she changes her message every single month. She follows all the gurus and has invested in most of them. And then there's Marva. Marva has the same goals as Michelle, but she chose a different path for development and actually shaved years off of her learning curve. Plus, she learned how to find her own path and make sure she was on her path before striking out on her own. She influences many people without even knowing that she's doing it. She coaches, but she really loves to train. She has a consistent platform that she repurposes for different audiences, and she loves learning about and expressing her message in authentic ways. They both face the same challenges, which are probably the challenges that you face also. First of all, lacking clarity, not being clear on what to speak on, what to coach on, or how to lead. Lacking direction because you don't have clarity of your foundation, of where you're going and who you actually are in the industry. You've probably spent thousands of dollars seeking the answers and seeking results so you can move quickly through to your success. And because of that, you've probably got on information overload. So much knowledge from so many people. How do you sort through it? And we're tired of cookie cutter programs, the ones that tell you, do these 5 things and be a success forever. And it never seems to work. And also the challenge of learning the right things to do, but doing them at the wrong time. Because what you want to do is fulfill your dreams. We all have dreams. What are your dreams? What do you seek to achieve? We're all motivated by different things. When I had a speakers bureau, 99% of the speakers who approached me wanted to make a difference in the world. If this is true of you too, as a speaker, a coach, or a leader, perhaps your dreams are reflected on these boxes. You can add, remove, or change them around. But what is your big dream? What is your big dream? Put it in the chat box. I'd love to know what your big dream is. Some of you dream of clarity. We all do at some point in our lives, figuring out where we're going. Some of us want influence. We all pretty much want to network with the people who are like us and think like us and can help move us along and inspire us. We want a lifestyle that allows us to live the life that we want to live. We want meaning. We want to go deeper. We want profit. We want to automate so we don't have to be so involved in the day-to-day activities. And we may have other things that we want also. We have our dreams. Let's assume maybe you're invited to take part in a contest to win a spot to share your specialty. Maybe it's Les Brown calling you to speak at his next event. Or WBEX. WBEX is the World Business and Executive Coaches Summit, a group of 186,000 coaches internationally. What if they're calling, inviting you to speak on one of their summits? Or maybe you got a call from a top international leadership organization to have a vendor table at their conference. How would you prepare so that you could win the contest? Now, Michelle gets busy. She fills her already full head with even more information. She's looking for answers, but she doesn't even know what questions to ask. She just knows that things don't work well for her, but she's going to give it a shot because she's going to try this contest and think her way right through it. But she's already on information overload from all the others she's been following. But her biggest challenge is that she starts from scratch every time she has an opportunity to speak. She also tries to imitate someone else in content and style. She focuses on the details without looking at the big picture. She's confused and overwhelmed. She's not sleeping well. She's not eating well. She's anxious. She's uncertain. And she just can't quite get it together. And then there is Marva. She's found the key to authenticity. She takes a more unconventional approach and allows the message to come to her. She gets clarity. She assesses her content. She plans a course of action, practices self-care, and prepares her presentation. She listens to the needs of the client and her inner voice. She checks out her alignments with the inviter, and she aligns her core message with the message that is needed. Which one are you? Be honest. Put it in the chat box. Are you more like Michelle? Or are you like Marva? Marva goes deeper. She goes deeper into what the needs are and deeper into what she has to offer. How do you do that? You know, society is asking us to go deeper. That pause we took with the pandemic several months ago, people saw so much inauthenticity going on in the world. They had to get deeper. You have to get deeper. We have to get deeper. How do you do it? When you get deeper, you can be more confident that you're being authentic. You gain the courage to get out and share your message. You get aligned with yourself. You reach more people. You make a difference. You get known and you get paid. But to get deeper means you have to go off the roller coaster ride. I had my own roller coaster journey for a few decades before I finally settled into my authentic self. The Speaker Bureau, I was the first Black woman to own a speaker bureau for Black speakers. It got a lot of results, but there was something missing for me. When the recession hit, I changed the bureau and then created my rapid speaking system. Being a bureau owner for years and coaching speakers, I learned a lot about what speakers were missing. And I put that together in a system called the rapid speaking system. Then I ran into more confusion. I had a decade of deaths, my mother, my father, my brother, my husband was murdered, and it just tragedies, tragedies. But all those then led me to create the Be Authentic method. And what that meant is I had to go and cross the bridge. We all have to cross a bridge. I had to decide to embrace an authentic way of living life. I went from feeling like I was carrying the weight of the world to pretty happy most of the time. And at some point, you too have to decide. I looked for a picture of me years ago when I was so depressed and disappointed. And I only found this one, a picture that I purchased. And this picture was how I felt. I felt like I was carrying burdens, burdens, burdens that I had taken on that I didn't need. I used to be Michelle, worried all the time and confused, or not sure what to do next, unclear of my message or where I fit in the industry. Then I transformed to Marva, assured, confident, and controlled in my dreams. And this training is going to show you how to cross the bridge from cookie cutter to customized and authentic and all the benefits that it brings. I came to the bridge feeling like that. And when I crossed the bridge, I started smiling, going to parties, playing golf, and dancing every chance I get. I even switched my energy around. It's all aligned now and moving in the same direction, helping me move up and up and up. Totally different. Everything is moving in an aligned way, and it makes life and business much, much less stressful and far more enjoyable. I took what I learned from the Speakers Bureau. I leveraged it in multiple ways. I leveraged my rapid speaking system. I got clarity with my purpose and came out with my Be Authentic message. That allowed me to speak in China. I went to China in 2018. I spent 2 months there. I spent 1 month speaking to groups and the second month training those students that you saw. I trained them on my authenticity grid and then trained them to train their peers. I got a call from Les Brown inviting me for him to interview me. Of course, I said yes, and that was a big plus. And I also got an invitation as one of 8 speakers to be invited to be a showcase speaker with WBEX. And I'm speaking on there on May 17th to the 186,000 international coaches. And I'm really excited about that. But it hasn't always been that way because I made some major mistakes. And in my experience in working with speakers, I find that there are 3 common mistakes that speakers, coaches, and leaders consistently make. The first one is lacking clarity. You know, we are such creative people with new ideas all the time of who we are, who we can be, and what we can do. But unfortunately, in our quest for clarity, we start on our path before we're clear on our message. And that brings a lot of problems, which I'll share with you shortly. Mistake number 2, you don't leverage and repurpose your products and services. We keep thinking that content, well-delivered content and messages and services is all you need. All you gotta do is write something else, create another program, do another thing. But the secret is in leveraging what you've done. And the third mistake is lacking authentic alignment. This is something that most people don't even understand, but I'm gonna share with you today the value of authentic alignment and being authentic in the way you move through in your career. So mistake number 1, in my experience with speakers, this is the area of the greatest challenge. Speakers get so anxious to get started and spend a lot of money to get started, only to find out they did the right thing at the wrong time, and the money they spent did not take them where they want to go. You know, it can take a while to get your message right. There's a lot of balance that's required in getting your message right. When your message is right, you can soar on stage. When it's not right is when you're nervous. But you want your message to be unique to you and not look like it's cookie cutter speaking or cookie cutter coaching or cookie cutter leadership styles. And when it's time to share your message, you're far more confident when you know that you know your stuff. In 2021, you know that anything is possible. You have survived all the many challenges of 2020. You can now set your own course for 2021 without fear, with clarity about what you speak about, your coaching specialties, who you lead, how you engage people, what you say it, what to do next, and how you take care of yourself. Don't strive to be like everyone else. Strive to be authentic. That is the specialty. Now, to give you some tips about being more authentic and getting your message straight as a speaker, coach, or leader, think about passion, experience, and expertise. This is where the foundation of who you are, where it comes from. Whenever you're speaking or coaching or whatever you're leading, you should have some passion about it. Something that really gives you bliss because you love it so much, or pisses you off and makes you want to make a difference. You also speak from your experience and come from your experience. Now, I have here a picture of someone on a hot balloon ride, but your experience may not be quite so dramatic. Maybe you were the oldest of 12 children or the youngest. Maybe you won the lottery. Maybe you had an interesting experience on your first job. What's your experience that's been different? That's something that you can share that becomes the foundation of your coaching practice, of your leadership style, or your speaking topic. And what about your expertise? What have you been doing for 10 or 20 years that you know like the back of your hand? No one knows it like you do. No one's done it quite like you have done it. That's another place to come from in terms of finding your message. Now here's time for an exercise to get that pencil and paper. And what you're going to do is draw a horizontal line on your paper. And then you're going to make marks on that line. And on the far left, put the number 0. And on the far right, put the age that you are right now. And on the marks in between, make them about 5-year differences and put the ages in between them. Now, you're not going to finish this now, just get started. But it's going to take you a week to a month to do this well. And what you're going to do, excuse me, in the next week or month, is you're going to be reflecting on your life and thinking about the great times that you had, the things that are memorable. They may have changed your life. They may have helped you make decisions. They were very joyful, very loving. And write them above the line, reflective of the age that they took place. And then take some time and think about the negative things that happened, the things that were bad, the things you don't really want to remember. They were painful, they were difficult, they were challenging, and put those below the line. And take some time to do this so you can remember things that you've long since forgotten. And when you're done, then reflect on it. Take a look at where the patterns lie. You see, it's my belief and my experience in 24 years of coaching speakers and coaches that we all have a thread or a theme in our life, and it keeps repeating over and over again. So as a speaker, your message is about that theme that keeps showing up, that thread. As a coach, your specialty has to do with that theme that shows up, that thing that drove you to go into coaching in the first place, the thing that you overcame. As a leader, your style of leading relates a lot to the way that you lived your life and the things that happened. And then you can figure out what's your uniqueness. When I found mine, which is authenticity, actually a coach told me that. And when I thought about my life, my first career was directing preschool programs. I could talk about authentic children. At that time, I had my speaker bureau. I can talk about authentic speakers. And I was moving to corporate in terms of authentic leadership. So it fit. That's the thread that's tied through my life. What's yours? Mistake number 2 is not leveraging your message. You think once you do your speech or start your practice, that you're done. You've created it, but it's so much more than that. That's just the beginning. I have this picture of the flowers in the boots because that's a picture of the word recycling. They recycle the plants from a planter into booths. Beautiful results, very unique and different. That's memorable. What's your uniqueness? How can you tie your things together so that it's unique? Now, the uniqueness has to do with leveraging, which is also referred to as repurposing, or what I call recycling. So it's the same message, but shared in a different way. And that's important. See, you see many speakers and coaches and leaders also, they have a pie chart of income that looks like this. So the green is either the speaking or the books or the coaching or the books or the salary and maybe something on the side. The people who were most impacted by the pandemic were those who had a pie chart that was just all green. They only had one source of income. What you want as a speaker, coach, or leader is a chart that looks more like this. So you have multiple sources of income. You have leveraged and repurposed and recycled the work that you've done into different ways of sharing it, and therefore different ways of gaining income. Mistake number 3, you lack authenticity. You're not managing your business in alignment with your personal energy. This is an area that is rarely discussed, yet I've learned is quite vital for your success. It works best when all of your parts are aligned. That means everything going in the same direction. And I selected this picture because clearly they're not going in the same direction, which is sometimes the way that we approach our lives. When you have different parts of your business out of alignment or of yourself out of alignment, it impacts your profitability. So alignment means different things for different people. This is one type of an alignment. It's kind of a spiral alignment. It's not up and down, it's not straight, but you can see there's a pattern there. There's something that can be replicated. There's a system there. This is another type of alignment. They're all different colors, but they're all spaced the same and they're the same size. But you can see that there's an alignment there. Here's another type of an alignment. Different way of looking at it, but still an alignment. And here's yet another, which is a more organic alignment. They're all different. We're all different. There's no cookie cutter approach to alignment. It's based on who you are. From an authenticity perspective, when your message is aligned with who you are and your energy patterns, you are more powerful. This is a whole person approach, not focusing on a single piece of your business or of yourself, but to look at the big picture. Now, let me digress for just a minute and talk about big picture, because I learned recently of an article, a report from the New England Journal of Medicine. And this is going to surprise most of you. But the most impactful, productive decade of human life is between the ages of 60 and 70. I know that may surprise many of you. The second most productive decade of life is 70 to 80, and the third most productive decade is 50 to 60. So anyone on the call under 50, know that you're still just practicing. You're working on getting it right. You're making all the mistakes and looking for the threads and doing the things that are preparing you for the purpose for which you are here, which doesn't usually totally reveal itself until after you finish the practice, until after age 50. And how can you do it right unless you get aligned? If you're spending your time past 50 trying to get an alignment, pushing the inside of you to where it's supposed to be, like in this picture, it's going to be a difficult journey. And aren't you tired of the roller coaster journey? You get off the roller coaster by aligning your life. When you align your life to your authenticity, it's smoother, it's easier, without the stress and anxiety of everyday life. When you're in the frame, you can't see it clearly, even when you're not aligned. And that's why you feel like you're pushing upstream. You cannot balance what you cannot see. You cannot see it unless you go deeper. Another exercise. Draw a vertical and horizontal intersecting lines as you see here. On the top of the vertical line, write the word formal. And at the bottom of the vertical line, write the word informal. On the left side of the horizontal line, write the word dominant. And on the right side of the horizontal line, write the word easygoing. Now, thinking about yourself, decide if you see yourself as more formal or more informal. More formal is above the line, above the horizontal line, and informal is below, but not in the middle. Not in the middle is not allowed. Then make a mark where you see yourself. I see myself as more informal than formal. Make a mark. Do the same for dominant versus easygoing. Where are you? If you're not sure, dominant people usually tell, easygoing people usually ask. And once you have your 2 marks, then join them so that you are in one of the 4 quadrants. Now, when you look at the 4 quadrants, if you are in the quadrant that is formal and easygoing, that means you are an analytical type personality. Would you please mute yourself, please? If you're on the call and not muted, please mute yourself. If you are in the quadrant that has formal and easygoing, that means that you are analytical in your style. Now, analytical people like a lot of details. They like a lot of information. And if you are in that quadrant and you're wondering why you're not successful as a keynote speaker, because analytical people generally have a hard time being keynoters because keynoters are very minimal on their information. Analytical people belong more in seminars or breakout rooms or trainings or things of that nature. If you are in the easygoing informal area, you're more of a supporting type. Supporting people are very gregarious, they're easygoing, they love to laugh, they bring humor, they bring joy. If you're that kind of speaker, then that's probably where you are in the chart. If you are in the dominant informal, you're motivational, which is probably where many of you are. A lot of speakers fall in this quadrant, even though they're not necessarily motivational. And then the top one is controlling, the formal dominant. You're more controlling, you like to control your audience and control your message. So that's one way of looking at this. Another way of looking at this is who you have around you, because analytical people are not motivational and motivational people are not analytical. But in a business environment, if motivational people don't have analytics around, they're going to miss all the details and miss a lot of the opportunities. They're opposites. So this is another way I look at this chart, and another way that I help you move for understanding yourself and therefore moving on and improving on your message. So let me give you a bird's eye view of the Be Authentic method. It's based on all the products and the information that I've gleaned over the years. The very first product that I developed was my book, The Process to Become a Professional Speaker. I wrote that when I had my speaker bureau. I was the first Black woman to own a speaker bureau for Black speakers, and I owned it for 14 years. So I used my first product about the speaking and then expanded it to the Speak Up, which became a book and several CDs. All the other products are related to my authenticity program, and I've collected those in many ways, and it's based on the foundation of the authenticity grid. This grid, it represents 30 years of research into human nature that started when I found myself in a marriage that I did not want to be in. And I found I was the person my parents wanted me to be and not the person I needed to be. And that led to me moving out of the marriage and going into research about who I am. But I had no idea it would take 30 years. But the 30 years left me with this program. And then that was followed by 12 years of figuring out, well, what is it and what does it do? These 9 rectangles represent 9 dimensions of authenticity. And in the program, in the Be Authentic method, I help you go deep into each of these dimensions, assess how they are integrated in your life, and reflect how to fill the gaps that are revealed. This is 2 of my events I had recently when we were doing live events. I usually focus on 9 speakers and have them speak on each of the dimensions of the authenticity grid. And the bottom picture represents the homepage for the online school, Authenticity U, that has all the materials that I showed you earlier, my books and what have you, and how I have them online. And you have access to those as part of the Be Authentic method. What the method does is gives you clarity, content, and courage. Clarity to be clear on your authentic message and path, content to expand and or deepen your current work, and courage to be your authentic self. All are based on who you are authentically and your unique path. You know, they say clarity is king, because when you don't have clarity, you make bad decisions. I help you get clarity, get your own personal clarity factor. A person who doesn't self-evaluate doesn't grow. You don't learn from your experience, you learn from reflecting on your experience. And you know, we don't do much of that in society. That's how you step up and be more of a leader and deal with the opportunities that are presenting themselves in today's world. Because reflection is looking back so that the view forward is clearer. Meet Kim Chenier. She was one of my clients and she felt stuck in her business. She was an attorney. She didn't have a clear direction about how to move forward. She had lots of knowledge and experience, and she knew what she wanted to do, but didn't have the clarity to put it together. So I helped her put it together by asking her the right questions. That's one of the keystones of the program, giving you the right questions to reflect on, because that gives you helps you guide you to the answers that are all within you anyway. And after our 6 months together, she had a 5-step coaching course all laid out. And it's helped her to realize her dream. And also meet another Kim, Kim Corrick. And Kim says the main thing about working with you, Norma, which is more important than preparing a speech, although it is part of it, is that somehow she worked through a lot of personal issues of transformation. I was heartfelt, loving, the presence that healed. But with my expertise, it was the magic sauce that she can't really describe that helped her work through stuff that she didn't have to work on anymore. And as a result, her speeches are much, much better. Now, when I had my bureau, one of the things that I frequently said is that the speakers that I found that were the most memorable and the most impactful were those who, as I said, were okay with themselves. I later understood that to mean that they knew who they were. They were authentic. They didn't have to fake anything on stage. And that helped. So in my authenticity work that I spent the 42 years working on, I bring that into all speakers I work with to help you remove blocks that you don't even realize are in your way. Because those blocks you can come across on stage, they come across with your clients as speakers, they come across when you lead. And when you know those blocks, sometimes we don't even know what our blocks are, but we help you move for them in the authenticity process. They also say that content is king. And what I do is help you to expand your content, whether it's your signature speech or your client specialty, or if it's the way that you lead. We guide you to new perspectives of your core message and ways to expand and repurpose and leverage it. We guide you with additional content and guide you how it aligns with your current work and help you leverage and repurpose. Let me give you an example. Meet Peggy. Peggy Muhammad, retired nurse, military nurse actually, and Reiki instructor. Reiki is a way of managing personal energy. Turned author, speaker, trainer, and product producer. I met Peggy, I guess almost 10 years ago. I was at an event in Texas. She came up and walked to me and she said, Miss Hollis, I want to be a speaker. I said, okay, let me see. I'll be happy to help you. Well, here we are several years later. Peggy took my entire program and decided to deliver it intact. She delivered it 3 times to the military hospital and their administrators to great success. She delivered it to her spiritual community as well as other spiritual communities. And now she has broadened it to her own signature program that she calls Living from the Wheel, that's connected with 2 of the dimensions in the authenticity grid. And she makes aprons and bags to carry and all kinds of things. She has a chapter in my book and she writes her own materials and she's just rocking and rolling with it. Another one rocking and rolling with authenticity is Diana Gregory. Now, she took my program when she had just retired as sales manager from a male-dominant industry. She had never gotten married and never had children, so she had no idea and no plans of what to do in her retirement. Well, after connecting with her authenticity, she realized how much she wanted to help seniors, and she started transporting farm fresh food to senior citizen facilities in such a way that now she has a full-fledged nonprofit and she's no longer dreaming. She is living her passion and very happy about it. Now, if clarity and content are king, well, authenticity is queen. It's the softer, equalizing energy that balances and course corrects the path. Society has more instances of inauthenticity than we have time to discuss. It seems to show up more and more. but we pay a cost for inauthenticity, like the picture on the top. We're already wearing masks over our mouths and noses for health reasons. When we wear a mask over our eyes too, we're hiding ourselves from the real world. It's like we're wearing a mask. Most of us wear it most of our lives or wear many masks, but now it's time to take the mask off. If you continue to be masked up, you will eventually be unable to breathe or see. The remedy, though, is authenticity. Steve found that out. Steve participated in my entry-level program for the year of 2020. And when he joined me, he had just finished writing his book, and he was facing challenges about marketing the book. So before he started my class, he listened to podcasts, talking to people, talking to the gurus, and he started to get uncomfortable because some of the people would scream and shout about you have to do this and follow my 10-step here and this proven formula. And as he says, blah, blah, blah. But one of the things that he learned on the course is that he learned he had to do it his way. And he had to be authentic with how he's marketing because he can't be someone else. He's an admitted introvert, and he didn't want to be operating in a way that he didn't believe. And he would be embarrassed with his family if he was not being himself. And the discussions that we have had have helped him to build more confidence to realize that. And he's moving forward with marketing his book in a very effective way. And then there's my Ticia. My Ticia worked with me as, she was a beauty professional who had not been as prosperous as she wished she had been. And because of my program, she learned how important it is for her voices to be in alignment with one another. And more importantly, how I talk about a process called think, communicate, do, because she found herself incorporating these life-transforming concepts into her personal and professional life, and it's made all the difference in the world. So imagine this is you. You just closed an important coaching contract. You booked a powerful speaking engagement. Your team exceeds your expectations, and you have created your perfect lifestyle. Which one are you going to be? Are you going to be doing it the slow way and confusing way of Michelle and take more years? Or are you going to get there the smart way as Marva did? Because this could be you in 2021. Now, I know you're probably saying, yeah, it all sounds great, but I know I can't afford it. Well, I know you can. I have a number of programs that are entry level all the way through my top level program. I can put you in one of or more of them. I want to talk to you. I want to know what your goals are. I want to know what your challenges and struggles are. I want to see how I can help you and which program is going to be the best fit for you. You might be saying also, I don't have time. Well, the program, the foundational program is 12 weeks long. It takes 2 hours a day on Thursdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And that's when we have a group call. I only have a limited number of people in each of my programs. So in that call, I work with you and the group and teach you the foundations. Then you also have the opportunity to participate for a full year on our Tuesday calls from 5 to 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Those are the glue calls. We spend a month on each dimension. It's more like authenticity in action, helping you deal with current situations that you're facing and looking at authentic ways to resolve them and exploring how other people are resolving their different issues. You may be saying, I have to focus on COVID. Well, you know, there's enough focus on COVID. It's as long as you do what you're supposed to do, unless you have someone ill in your family or you're ill yourself, as long as you're wearing your mask and doing the right things, just go and live your life and do what you need to do to move yourself forward in 2021. And maybe you're saying that your kids take all of your energy. Well, I want to tell you this program, this grid, this Be Authentic method focuses and is appropriate for almost any industry and geography and age. Last year, I trained a group of people in the Be Authentic method, and it just so happened that every one of them were youth-oriented. Now, what they're doing now that they've completed the first round of training is they are developing games for each of the 9 dimensions of authenticity. We already have interest in some locations here in Los Angeles who want to give the games for their youth. We're focusing on youth ages 8 to 24. And sometimes when I do these programs, I get a conglomerate of people with the same focus. And I try to put them together so that we can move together collectively. And that's what happened last year. And they're moving together collectively to create programs for youth. And the talking about talking to your spouse, one of the best ways to do this program is with someone you love, because you get a way to understand each other better. And you also get a language with which to discuss so that you can go deeper and deeper and deeper. Now, you may also say that you're scared to go deep. And I've heard that many times because we've been used to living a very superficial life. But what about going deeper? It's a calling that comes to every one of us from one time or another, especially those of us who are creative as speakers, coaches, and leaders. And then it's time to move forward, to move into the depth of who you can be and how you can help others to do the same, especially as society is clamoring for that these days. You know, I do this for several reasons. I do this because it's my life's work. I do this because it gained me clarity when I've gone through my own challenges. I've been Michelle. I've been Michelle for years. I've had more pain and trauma probably than most people, but the authenticity is what has helped me through, especially when my husband was murdered. And I can help you too, because gaining authenticity is like finding buried treasure. The change is immediate and long lasting. And I want to help you look inside of your treasure box and see what's in there and how you can leverage it for your authentic success in the future. So this is not a cookie cutter program. There's no other program like it. It's very original. I call it customized group coaching. I call it that because even though I meet with you in a group with a limited number on Thursdays, I customize the training as I get to know you. Before you even sign up, we meet. I get to know who you are. I get to know what your challenges are. I get to know what you're looking to attain and what your dreams and goals are. And I modify the program based on the needs of the collective group. Yeah, I also have an online school, as I mentioned. You get classes in there, and in some parts of the program, you get to sell those classes and gain commission. Some programs have one-on-ones. All of them have networking. You know, everyone that has given me a testimonial on my program, they all say one common thing, that they love the people who are in the program. I attract people who are like-minded, probably like yourself, since you're on the call and staying through the call. But the networking opportunity to meet other people of like minds, get inspired by them, learn how they're resolving certain challenges that you're having yourself is really a way to inspire you on a weekly basis. I have some people that say, well, I can't go forward with the other programs, but I want to stay in the networking group every Tuesday. Now, for speakers who take the program, you end up speaking at a live event. At the end of the 12 weeks of the foundation, I spend 4 weeks training you as a group, and then the 5th week puts you on stage. And then coaches end up, after the 12-week foundational program, I work with you for 4 weeks to help you integrate your specialty with authenticity, give you new products and new materials to work with, and new income generating possibilities. And leaders end up being more engaging in their interactions with their team members. And, you know, engagement is the thing that is missing so much in society. There's research that says anywhere from 18 to 30%, different research studies, that's the number of people who are engaged at work. So in other words, somewhere between 70 and 82% of the workforce, 88% of the workforce is not engaged at work. But you want people that are engaged. Life is far more enjoyable when it is engaging and meaningful. And no matter what, everyone benefits their personal life. There's an enhancement, there's a modification, there's a change, a transformation that takes place just by the nature of the questions that are asked, the reflection that you're doing, how you're assessing your own life, what you're learning, how you're integrating it, and how you are coming into alignment. I take you from where you are to where it is you want to be. So your next step is to schedule a call with me. I will have you complete a short application, tell me a little bit about yourself. We'll have a 30-minute call. We'll get to know each other, determine which of the programs that I offer best fits for you, and get ready to get started. The 2021 programs, the 3 different programs, again, the foundation is 12 weeks, and then we go further depending on what program you're in. We're starting on January 7th, on May 7th, and September the 10th. I have many affordable programs and several paths to your authenticity. And I want to connect you with the program that is authentic for you, for where you are on your journey, where you want to go, and to begin to map out your journey. It is, as I said, a customized group training program and customized just for you, because I don't want you to be inactive. The price of inaction is quite high. I don't want you to face a broken bridge and not have the tools to get over it. So consider how being a network of like-minded people would inspire you every week. I put teams together, and I'm looking for my next group of team that's going to move forward in authenticity moving forward. All you have to do is reach out to me. Go to meetwithnorma.com and we'll schedule the time to talk. You'll schedule the time, I'll get in touch with you, and we'll have a great conversation. And I look forward to meeting you, learning about you, and helping connect you to cash in on your authentic voice. Thanks so much for being here.